All right, thanks for joining us on another episode of Buyer Beware. So I don't like making these videos necessarily, but and I don't just make one when I'm not happy with the company. For one, I make one when I feel like the company has either wronged us or is treating customers unfairly or not being fair with customers, and that's exactly the situation that happened here. What we're doing is Buyer Beware Chargebee. Now, what Chargebee is a subscription management software. We do a lot of R&R, recurring monthly revenue with the access control systems, cloud-based access control systems, cloud-based camera systems, things like that. So we've now signed up hundreds of customers with these services, and those customers every year get a yearly bill from us. Whether if it's access control system, then we're charging them per month, per reader, billed annually. And there may be some extra options and extra perks they add on to those plans that cost additional money. So that's kind of the access control billing that we need to handle monthly. So say we had a customer that has like 5 doors, and then they had the Bluetooth credential feature and maybe another feature on that system, and we need to bill them for 12 months. For a whole year, basically, right? And then I need it to set up so that every year when it comes up, it says, hey, this bill's going to be due, ready to go. And so we can just ready to go and submit it. Because we have hundreds of customers, it's very hard to keep track of who's getting the bill this month, who's getting that. And that's why I was looking for subscription management software. So we spent a long time looking, and we finally thought we found the right company. And that company was Chargebee. Now, here's how it kind of went. So with Chargebee, they said, oh, it's their price was really good. It was like something like $80 a month or something, as long as you're not over, X amount of sales per year, which we weren't. So it's like 100,000 or something. And then there's like a percentage if it goes over. So it's a really good rate, and it sounds really good, right? So first thing I did is I started to have tons of emails here. I was just reading through all these old emails just to make sure I covered everything. But first of all, they're most companies in India. I know they're from San Francisco, but you're talking to people from India mostly all the time. So for one, your time schedule's off. If you have any customer support stuff, it's always off. 2, very hard to understand them. We had 3 people in here trying to take training from them on how to program these the whole time, and it was like, whoa, stop, more time, and it was constant. I couldn't hear you, couldn't understand you. They were speeding through it, and it was very hard to understand them for one in their training. So when I first got set up, I said, this is what I need the system to do. I need it to be able to put in all these variable different plans and different options, and to be able to set it up and times that by 12 for 12 months and say, here's your yearly bill. And then, 15 to 20 days ahead of the bill being due next year, it says, hey, here's a bill ready to go. So I can submit it to my customer and let them pay it. So automated billing, automated things like that, right? Keeping track of these plans. They said, oh yeah, it does all that. All done. Yep, no problem. Does this. This one does this. Does it do this? And yep, does all that stuff. Yeah, that's no problem. It could do all that. Okay. So and then what they do is they say, okay, well, first you want to do it? Sure. You said you could do all these things. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. Sign the contract, submit it, and then we start going through onboarding, which took months. We were doing this for months because it's a pain in the butt. And so we got into onboarding, and quickly we started realizing, oh, this has a lot of limitations. Like, okay, well, how do I add in these different things? Oh, well, you can't. You have to do it this way. All right, that's kind of weird. And then you can't, and it won't wait a second. Then we had problems with it syncing over to QuickBooks. We had to get it synced over. We had to have it be able to handle these complex plans and then send our data to QuickBooks so the billing would sync and everything would sync right. Database of customers, what plans they're on, how much they're paying for each thing on that plan, sync that all over. When the invoices are submitted, created in QuickBooks, submitted to the customer pays, notated in QuickBooks. That's pretty much the whole flow of things. Yeah, I could do all that. Okay. So first thing is right away, it wasn't syncing to QuickBooks correctly. We started doing the test, it wasn't syncing correctly. Then it was, oh, well, if you already have the existing customer in QuickBooks and you put the customer in Chargebee, which you have to do, then it's going to put it in there and create another customer. So it doesn't just find the customer and match them up. No, it makes a duplicate customer. It puts like a number in front of it or something like, well, that's not good. I don't want doubles on all my customers, So that was one big issue. Then Then it was duplicating the customers. It wasn't syncing to QuickBooks correctly. We put something through and be like, why didn't you go to QuickBooks? Oh, it must be a glitch. Let me find out. I'll put a ticket in for it. It's like, it must be a glitch. We just did one. It's not working. It doesn't work, you know? And then it was like, it had these weird invoice numbers it would put in there, like all these letters and numbers. I'm like, well, how do we put that to a better invoice number? Oh, you can't. Okay, you can't customize the invoice numbers at all. All right, so this more and more after I've signed the contract, because you have to agree to it before they put you into onboarding and start doing everything. They kind of demo it for you a little bit, but it's like, well, yeah, we could do that. They just kind of said, yeah, we could do that during onboarding. No big deal. They made it sound like it's no big deal. They could handle everything we needed to handle after we signed the contract. And 4 months it took 4 months of trying to onboard, and we finally said, forget it. But anyway, so then they had weird plan types where I was like, well, I need to be able to say on this bill, he has 5 readers. We're billing for 5 doors, which is a reader, and here's how much per door. And then he wants to add this add-on, things like that, and create those kind of things. But they're like, no, you have to make like a pre-made plans. And that pre-made plan means this. Instead of just putting in items, prices, descriptions, it was really, really weird. Just tell you that much. This is really weird. So everything they said they could do, most of the things they couldn't do, or they could do if you stand on one foot and touch your head, those kind of things, like weird things. We can get it to work if you do this, and then do this around that, and then we can make it kind of work. Everything they had was kind of like a workaround. They kept trying to work around everything, and nothing was really working correctly. It was not you couldn't easily or clearly calculate and display what the customer's being charged for, like how many readers, like I said, billed annually. You couldn't get it to set billed annually or quarterly or monthly or whatever. All those little features just didn't work correctly. So we started going. Then I was saying, well, hey man, how do I set up the automated billing? Oh, that's a different feature. That's the main thing. What are you talking about? I need this to be able to tell me every year as they approach that their bill's going to be due. What do you mean extra feature? Well, that's not included in this package. That's what you sold me. How much does it cost to get that package? Let me find out. I'll send you an email. Got my email back the next day. It'll be $600 a month to get that feature. You're only charging me like $80 a month. So you want to charge me, 5 times the price plus the $80 to do this automated billing thing. Got them to come down on that price, added that into my plan, which that is like $125 they settled with me on or something like that because they told me it could be done. And it still didn't work. So we have all these problems. I've got probably 100 emails going between us saying, hey, we can't get a hold of you. Hey, you didn't reach out to me. Hey, I can't understand the person that's speaking to us, trying to train us. There's a room full of all of us here. We can't understand this person. We need someone that can speak clearly, that speaks English clearly so we can do this. We went through so many battles with them on this, but the kicker is that they had me sign that contract so that they can get into onboarding and start working all these complicated things out. Problem is 4 or 5 months in, we can't get any of these things to work. Literally 20% of the things will work the way we need to. The other 80% does not. There's a way of doing it, but you have to do this, that, and that, and that. And it's like, well, that's very inconvenient. The whole point is to make this convenient. Well, maybe we could talk to the programmers. They can fix it. They're going to have to if I'm going to use your software. I can't use it if we're going to do this, So we had these conversations, I gave them plenty of time to do it. And then, real quick before I go into that. So basically, if you're dealing with Chargebee, I would make them show you every single thing that you need done. They have to prove it to you. Because they said they would just, yeah, you could do that. You could do that. Salesman's just trying to get you in. Yeah, I could do that. I've heard something that it could do that. So yeah, I could do that. And then they don't really look into it. So at the end, I basically said, hey man, I'll read my email to you. It says, after months of trying to get this software to work, we have decided that your software is not going to work for us. There are many reasons, including the following: not able to easily and clearly calculate and display what the customer is being charged for, the amount of readers per reader, billed annually, creating duplicate contacts in QuickBooks, not syncing with QuickBooks correctly and reliably. And also, notice that the invoice is not adding tax as well. Forgot about that. If you could please cancel our service immediately. We have been paying for this software for months while we're waiting to onboard and while we were trying to get it to work correctly. I don't expect a refund for all the past months. I was being pretty nice about it. But what I do want is to be refunded for this month's charge of software and the advanced billing charge, which was that add-on that they said was going to do what they did. It didn't work. I said, please advise as to when you cancel our service or when we can expect a refund on this month's service. Thank you for your time. Oh, and then they came back. Oh, sorry, we can make it work. I promise we can do this and that. It's okay, man. I already made my decision. We've been doing this for months. You guys don't seem to have your shit together. You know what I mean? So going back and forth. It took so long that there was only like a couple months left on my contract. You know, and I was like, it's fine. I paid all this stuff. It's all right. It didn't work out. I just don't have time to deal with it. Don't charge me anything going forward. And then it turns into, well, you're in contract. Oh, so you want to keep billing me, even though your product doesn't do what it does. Even though I'm telling you, don't worry about the past months. You want to try to hold my feet to the fire on this now. That's when I kind of got on. Like, dude, listen, man, I'm being pretty fair about this and pretty nice about wasting all this time doing this when you told me from the get-go we do all this stuff. And you're going to try to hold my feet to the fire on this contract. Okay. No problem. I got some YouTube channels to take care of that for you. And that's what we're doing. So I will talk about it, which is what I'm doing right now. So come to find out, you know, we ended up just going with QuickBooks Online. I have a way of doing it in there. It's very easy, actually. In QuickBooks Online, which we use QuickBooks Online already, you can do like, I don't know exactly how it works now because I don't handle that, but basically it would do what we needed to do. And it's included with our accounting software as it is. And this is all they do, and their software can just do that. So I would highly recommend, if you are going to consider Chargebee, don't fall for the low price. Don't fall for the, oh yeah, I could do that. Let me get you to sign up. Don't fall for any of that. Take your time. Make them show you every single thing the way it needs to work. Because for one, every time we were getting trained by someone, it was, oh, hold on, let me go ask this person. I'm not sure how this does. I was like, you're the one training me. How come you have to constantly keep asking for questions? You know? So I don't like to crap on other companies. I don't like to talk trash about other companies, unless when they deserve it. And in this situation, they deserve it. They told me you can do all these things. We added extra features, still didn't work. Even the extra features, even just the extra feature that I was paying for didn't even work the way it was supposed to work. They're way too jumping the gun on the software. It needs years of work still. I would highly recommend you do not use Chargebee. I would use anybody else and try anybody else first, because they weren't upfront with me. Then after all these months of wasting time without working, they weren't just able to politely just say, you know what, let's just disconnect here. Sorry, we weren't able to do what we needed to do. You're being pretty reasonable with us. You're not expecting all your money back. So we're not going to be unreasonable with you. We're not going to continue to charge you for the next 4 months. So all of this stuff happened with Chargebee. We're no longer using Chargebee. We actually ended up getting, if you need this done during the kind of service that we are, just try QuickBooks Online. It actually will do a lot of things for you. But there are a lot of other ones out there. Maybe cost a couple $100 extra. They're kind of pricey sometimes, but just don't fall for the cheap price on the Chargebee. There's a reason why it's cheap, and make them show you all these features work before you sign up with them, because they will hold you to the fire, regardless of them being able to provide the service they say they can provide, regardless of the service actually doing anything for you. They don't care. They want their money, and they don't care. And that's what it was boiled down to. So I figured I need to make this video to tell everybody, buyer beware. Don't do business with Chargebee. That's my personal experience. You can do what you want. You know, does it work on some things? Very, 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 very basic billing it works on. So anyway, hopefully this saves you a headache. But like I said, thanks for tuning in though. Hopefully this saves you from making a big mistake on your billing subscription management software. Check into QuickBooks Online, actually. If you're already using it, it's pretty good on that kind of stuff. And we have to put a spreadsheet with it so we can keep track, but we're able to do that for free pretty much because we already have QuickBooks Online. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this helps you out, and we appreciate the support as always. And don't forget, we're on all the social media platforms: X, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're on Rumble. Thanks for tuning in as always, Facebook, and appreciate the support.